Hey, and welcome to Mums at the Table. You are with Rachel and Shona. Now, Shona, I want to get straight into this topic. When you become a parent, you take on a whole new mental load, like 100%, 1000%. How do you cope? How do you share that coping with your partner? Because we had a mum write into our Facebook page saying she felt like she was failing, the house was messy all the time, and when she looks at other mums, they look like they're chilled, that they've got it together.
Look, I can relate with this, Mum. After having two kids really closely together, the house was a pigsty. The kids, some in the middle of winter, would have snotty noses, and they'd be running around outside in the dirt. And I always felt like I never had it together when they were very young, and I struggled to get it together. Things just didn't go well for us. Gary was self-employed, and so he was a long time away from home, so I was home most of the time. And I didn't have a community around me, and I don't know whether she has a community around her either. But a lot of it is time and just allowing yourself to live in the mess and just take it for what it is. What's more important is your children and your sanity, being able to just get through each day.
And it's so true that the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Looking at other people, and particularly with social media, we've said it before, you're just getting that very shallow face value of what things look like. And let's face it, what do you put up? Do you put up the raw, ugly stuff of the home? No. So you have to help yourself and go, they're probably doing that too. So how did you sort of share that mental load with your husband? Like, how did you guys cope with that?
Eventually, I had a conversation with Gary and said, you know, what's important to you? Is it important that we've got food on the table and the kids are healthy and well, or is it important that the house looks good and the garden's done and everything's wonderful? And he goes, no, your health and the kids' health and food on the table. There had to be food on the table.
I was going to say, with you, food totally had to be up there. But it's good that you both had that discussion and you came to the same expectation so that one wasn't coming home, you know, going, why has this not happened? How is this, you know, what's going on here?
But no.
Yeah, look, we had that in the early days. You know, my husband said, there's 5 piles of washing here. And I said, well, actually, you know, my friend's home, there's 8 piles of washing. And just opening your eyes to the reality.
Yeah.
Because what you see, you know, up front with someone and how they present themselves can be very different to behind the scenes. You're doing a great job. You are loving your kids. That is the very best thing you can do for them.
Sure is.
Hey, thanks for joining us for a chat. I'm sitting here with Dr. Simone. We're going to be talking about preeclampsia, the risks of preeclampsia in pregnant women. What is preeclampsia?
So preeclampsia is a condition whereby a woman who is pregnant develops, I guess, a group of symptoms that, if you don't manage and treat, can have really serious complications both for mum and for bub.
Right.
Preeclampsia the main symptom that we look out for, and this is why every single time you go to a doctor's checkup during pregnancy, we always check your blood pressure.
Right.
When during preeclampsia, your blood pressure goes up.
Okay.
You can get problems in terms of blurred vision because your blood pressure goes up. You can get problems in terms of your liver not being able to cope. You can get pain in the tummy.
Is there more? Is there a type of woman that would be more susceptible to getting preeclampsia?
The more women get preeclampsia during their first pregnancies.
Okay.
Subsequent pregnancies tend to be a little bit less likely to develop preeclampsia, but if you've had preeclampsia once, then you are also a little bit more likely to develop preeclampsia.
Right.
Again, we also, if there's a history of high blood pressure in your family, then we keep a really close eye on that as well.
What are some of the signs that women should say? So we talked about high blood pressure.
High blood pressure, sometimes that can translate to things like swelling of the legs.
Yes.
So again,
that happens naturally.
Yeah, but if it happens more than you would expect it to, if you go, it hasn't been that hot, I've been keeping my feet up and my feet are swollen up like balloons, that's a reason to get things checked out. If you notice that your vision's going, if you notice that you're getting pain, especially under the right side, that can be an indicator. I guess the other things that you really want to be very, very tuned for are if there is any changes in terms of baby's movement or in terms of any bleeding or anything like that.
Right.
Now, one of the clever new developments that's happened in terms of ultrasound technology these days is that women who are having their scans at around about the 10 to 12 week mark can also have generally routinely have an assessment made of the arteries that are going into the uterus to see whether they are susceptible to preeclampsia. And so on those ultrasound reports that we as the doctors get back, we will see whether a woman is at higher risk of developing preeclampsia or at lower risk of developing preeclampsia.
So do we need to ask the doctor for that specific test, or is it all just part of the routine test?
That's something that's part of the routine test, but if there's a history of preeclampsia in your family, or if you're particularly concerned, always make a point to ask the doctor. There are some things that can be done for women who are at higher risk. There's some great research coming out about the use of low-dose aspirin in terms of prevention of preeclampsia. And when you think about, thankfully, because we monitor things so closely, we tend to avoid most of the serious complications of preeclampsia, but mothers can go into seizures and convulsions, and it can cause the placenta to actually separate away from the uterus. So this can be a really serious condition.
Right, and I guess these are symptoms that may seem normal, but they're actually not. So do go and check with the GP or your obstetrician to make sure that everything's in check.
And get things checked regularly.
Thanks so much, Dr. Simone, for that insightful information. I think it's so important for pregnant women just to make sure they get their regular checkups and know that there is a risk of preeclampsia.
Welcome to another nutritional segment here with our dietitian Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, Gia.
Amanda is here, driven from afar away, which I'm glad she has, because she's got some great topics for us. And today we are actually going to be talking about lunchboxes and school lunchboxes, which I'm very interested about. Because I find that a lot of people don't know how to pack a good lunch for their kids and really just want some sort of method, right?
Yeah.
So how important are school lunches for our kids?
Yeah, sure. Well, it is really important to pack lots of healthy options for your kids at school, because it does provide a significant proportion of their nutrients for the day. And it's a good idea to try and represent all of the 5 food groups in their lunches as well.
Okay, so what would that look like? Because I just find with my kids, I stick to the same sort of method. I've got my own method, and most parents probably do. Yeah, I need ideas, obviously.
You're right. There is a bit of a formula to it. So I've got 2 different lunches here, just so you can really see how much and what type of foods to include. So this one here is for a younger child, so a kindy or year 1 or maybe even a preschooler.
I can see that. I love this.
And
this looks awesome.
This lunch here is for a mid to late primary school child. So the first thing to include is the main lunch item. So in these lunches, we've got a whole grain sandwich here with some veggie sticks and some hummus. And then in this one, we have the salad wrap. So you'll notice that we've got a whole grain, we've got some veggies and salads, and we also have a protein sauce. So this one has a chickpea patty in it as well.
I saw the patty. That looks awesome. Okay, so we've got a chickpea patty here for their protein sauce, and you've got the veggies, the hummus, and your sandwich.
That's right.
Depending on the age of your child.
And then the next thing to pack is a piece of fruit. So we've got berries and an apple in this one. And then after that, you need to pack 1 to 2 snacks. Now, this depends on the needs of your child. So if it's an active child or a child that gets a bit more hungry or a little bit older, then they probably need 2 snacks rather than 1.
Okay.
So in this lunchbox, we've got the cheese and Vita-Wheat, and then some plain popcorn as well.
My kids love popcorn.
And then this lunchbox has the yogurt, and there's lots of different things that you can pack. So things like wholemeal fruit or savoury muffins, pikelets, a boiled egg. You could pack dried fruit and nuts if the school allows it. There's lots of different things you can pack. Just try not to pack the processed packaged foods as much, because they have quite high in salt and sugar as well as fats. So just try and keep these for special occasions, maybe once a term rather than weekly. Yeah,
like
it is.
For me, this is very simple, an easy process, and it looks like a very healthy lunch.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about buying all that processed food. But anyway, thank you so much for this awesome ideas, these lunchbox ideas. We'll see you guys next time for another special topic. If you like these topics, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mums at the Table. We'll see you next time.
Okay, so we're talking personal space today with our little people. And it can actually get really annoying after a while. And I know we joke about never going to the toilet, on your own, having any of that privacy, but it can actually drive you a little bit mad after a while.
And look, I was talking to a friend not so long ago. She actually gave a sermon on it, how she couldn't find any personal space to have study time with her Bible or even just to be able to read a book. And so she made a special chair and she told her children, when I'm in this chair, this is my space. I'm reading my Bible and I'm spending time with God. Please don't interrupt me. And, you know, she would give them activities so that they would not interrupt her on this chair. And I thought, what an amazing idea, because trying to find personal space with small children to be able to do the things that you want to do is really, really hard.
Or just to survive, you know, having those little mental breaks. It can be really tough. And you know, it's been easier with my older daughter, who's a strong introvert. She actually appreciates time on her own. But my second daughter wouldn't understand why anyone wouldn't want to be with her and just like talk all the time. And, you know, I'm the same, so I can cope with it. But you still need those mental breaks. And so, you know, when my husband would get home, I'd be like, I need 5 minutes. And I'd just go for a walk just to have that little reset to go, okay, this is my body, these are my thoughts. Because when your thoughts get interrupted, no personal space here, that's what really affects me.
So did you have any other support other than your husband?
Yeah, look, I am blessed in that I live on the same street as my mum and dad, and they were still sort of full-time working. But every now and again, they'd be like, we can come and watch them for, you know, half an hour or whatever, and I would just, you know, go out for a run or whatever, just to reset.
Right.
But I guess if you've got good neighbours, maybe they could, you know, watch for 5 minutes just to get some of that personal space.
Mothers' groups?
Mothers' groups, yeah, like coordinate with a friend. I have a friend, we used to sort of do dinners together, and she'd watch the kids, I'd go for an exercise run, then she'd go and we'd come back and have dinner together. So if you've got a community, the best thing you can do is work with them.
Practice, and also practice teaching your children, this is my space.
I love that, because setting boundaries doesn't actually come natural to our little people. We really need to sort of help extend them, but I think it's, again, always expectation that sometimes it might be a little bit longer with other kids than some others. We've got a great Facebook group page that you can join where there's heaps, thousands of mums who can support you and give you great ideas. You're welcome to jump on there and join us. We'll see you next time.